everyone. So this video is a continuation of the series for exercises for the mind and spirit. The topic of this video is the truth. And I want to propose to you a very simple exercise for the mind and spirit. And the exercise is the following. Do you know when you think that the truth is what you actually feel? And can you distinguish it from the truth that actually is? So let me explain a little bit. So in cognitive behavioral therapy, there is this concept, a triangle. So there is a triangle of what we feel, what we think, and what we do. So feelings, thoughts, and actions. And the idea is that every element in this triad affects the other two. So what we think affects what we feel, it affects what we do, and also what we feel affects what we think, and it affects what we do. So I want to think in this video to consider this connection between what we feel and what we think. So sometimes our thoughts are driven by our emotions, and we think that it is the truth. So let me give you an example. Suppose I interact with somebody and they do something that it hurts me, right? So suppose it's a friend and they betrayed me. And I think, well, she is a bad person. So I thought she was my friend. She betrayed me. She's a bad person. And I strongly feel it. She's such a bad person, right? She betrayed me. I trusted her. I thought we were friends. I listened to her advice. I opened up to her. And in the end, she betrayed me. So this statement, she is a bad person, is it the truth? So what actually is the truth is that I'm hurt by what this person did to me. What actually is the truth, if I look at all of the facts and if I check the evidence, that she betrayed me. But if I say she is a bad person, that's not what the truth is. And it seems like a very simple example, but actually in medieval ages, women were executed for being witches. And this type of emotional reasoning was substituted for judicial trial. So maybe a few people or even an entire community, they didn't like a woman for whatever reason. And it may not have been because she did something wrong. It may have been because they just felt insecure around her. And they would execute women by blaming them that they were witches. Now, thank God that doesn't happen anymore. But this is a very poignant example of what happens when we substitute the truth with emotional reasoning. Now, the second thing that I want to consider in this video, is it really possible to know the whole truth in a situation? And I want to kind of challenge you to think, is it really possible to know the truth in the situation? So I want to bring up scriptures, the gospel, and you do not have to be Christian to appreciate what I'm going to bring up. So in the Gospels, Christ says, I am the truth, the way, and the life. So a Christian deity, the Son of God, who Christians consider actually God, he says, I am the truth. So at least in Christian religion, the truth is a person. And by living his life, he proclaims the truth. He proclaims the truth that God is love. He proclaims the truth that salvation is possible. He proclaims the truth that sin is forgiven. So in this passage, it kind of challenges us to consider, is the truth is just a mere statement of fact Or do we need to have some more of a spiritual way of seeing things? Sort of like, I think that in Hindu religion there is this concept of the third eye. There is even like a chakra dedicated to that concept. So do we need some kind of spiritual capacity? Do we need to engage our spirituality to be able to discover, see, feel, and cognize the truth? Is the truth a mere statement of facts, what we consider in science, which is wonderful? It's always a good thing to consider what the facts are, because that kind of helps us to avoid this type of emotional reasoning. But is there something more to the truth than just a statement of facts and scientific methods? So I believe that there is something more, and that spiritual practices help us to engage our spiritual capacities to be able to see things from even a higher perspective. So I would like to give you an example. There is a group of people, graduates of the same high school, and three of them get together at a high school reunion. One of them has become a CEO of an insurance company. Another one is hedge fund manager. And the third one is a plumber. He has a simple job. Now, from the point of view of what our society tells us is good, it seems like the truth is that these two people, the CEO of insurance company and the hedge fund manager, they are more successful than this plumber, right? So we may say this is the truth. These two people are more successful. They maybe were more intelligent, or they worked harder to climb that ladder to end up in such successful jobs. They're making more money, they have more education than this person who is plumber. Now, let us now consider another situation. These very three men, they walk on the street and they see a homeless person who looks really unwell. And it seems like this whole homeless person is having either a heart attack or some kind of lung issues. They have difficulty breathing, so they're dying. That homeless person is dying. So the CEO of the insurance company says derogatory things about the homeless person when he passes her. The hedge fund manager doesn't even notice the homeless person because she is laying in the grass and he's just focused on something else. And the plumber walks by and calls 911 and saves this homeless person's life. Now, who out of these three people is more successful from the spiritual point of view? So this plumber has this type of job, but he has achieved this type of job in such a way that he somehow has preserved and developed his capacity for compassion, empathy, and mercy toward his fellow human beings. And the CEO of the insurance company and the hedge fund manager, somehow they either have lost that capacity for mercy, or they willingly have given it up in order to achieve the positions that they have, or they just neglected it and never developed it. And it's sort of like, if you don't use it, you lose it, right? So from this point of view, who was more successful? I think that the plumber was more successful. So this is an example of how, if we look at situations from a spiritual point of view, what is the truth may be very much different from when we just look from the point of view of what the world tells us. Now, this doesn't mean that we should ignore the facts. should avoid emotional reasoning. And we considered an example earlier of how emotional reasoning can be very harmful. It has even led to execution of women in Middle Ages. It can lead to horrific things. The Holocaust is an example of emotional reasoning by an entire group of people, Nazis, who thought that they needed to exterminate Jews. However, by merely looking at the facts, we do not get the whole picture. So looking at what is going on also from the spiritual point of view helps us to cognize what the truth is better. And the truth is a person. It is Christ. God is truth. So in order to live in the truth, we need to continue and stay connected with God. And with that, I'll finish this video. I hope you enjoyed it. Please subscribe, and I will connect with you soon. Bye.